nostalgic strains of Minnesota's alma mater, echoing through venerable Memorial Stadium, conjured grand memories of Gopher glories from the Golden Hundred. A century of Gopher football has produced untold glory and a myriad of All-Americans and outstanding players. The legendary feats of yesteryear's runners such as Nagurski, Lund, the great Bruce Smith, Giel, and McNamara were commonplace. Today, similar accomplishments are the province of a new breed of backs, such as Frank Jacobs. Rugged, bruising football has long been a Minnesota trademark. The scenario continued uninterrupted in 1981, thanks to hard-charging freshman star Tony Hunter. Minnesota began to throw the ball more in the 60s with Sandy Stevens. This past season, Mike Hohensee, the hurlin' Hawaiian, orchestrated Joe Salem's aerial circus. Catches by Chester Cooper were reminiscent of earlier heroes: Bud Grant, Aaron Brown, Kingsrider, Sanders, and Bailey. Senior linebacker Jim Fonhorst was a hit man, cast in the mold of Leo Namalini, Bobby Bell, and Carl Eller. Minnesota football has always featured an aggressive, swarming, defensive team that made Saturdays miserable for opposing quarterbacks. The 81 maroon and gold frequently resembled a throwback to the Bernie Bierman era. The Gopher defense took its show on the road, and the men in the trenches didn't miss a beat. Whether swarming the passer, humbling a runner, or breaking up a pass, its style was one of reckless abandon. Playing in the defensive secondary requires the courage of a riverboat gambler. Sophomore Andre Harris hit the jackpot on a brilliant interception at Illinois. Minnesota was not a one-dimension football team. Offensively, the Gophers gained well over 4,000 yards, a new team record, in large part due to the strong arm of junior quarterback Mike Hohensee. On this stark, rainy afternoon at Memorial Stadium, Hohensee pierced the sky with 5 touchdown passes to 4 different receivers. The cast included Jay Carroll, Chester Cooper, Mike Curtis, and Ron Weckbacker. Minnesota's Big Ten opener brought a brighter day, and with it, the feared Purdue Boilermakers, fresh from opening victories over Stanford and Notre Dame. This team had been to 3 consecutive bowl games, and for the past 3 years had the winningest record in the Big Ten. Gopher tackle Kevin Kellen left no doubt that the defense was ready. Versatile quarterbacks are a coach's dream. Hohensee found daylight up the middle at the expense of the surprise Boilers. Equally at home in the air, Hohensee found one of his favorite targets, Ron Weckbacker, in a seam deep in Purdue territory. Mixing passing and running to perfection, Hohensee handed off to Frank Jacobs, and the Gophers had 6. Following a disastrous first quarter, Purdue quickly regained momentum and went in front by 7 points. Football games are decided by big plays. Safety Rick Wittes, one of the Gophers' steadiest defenders, made just such a play, ending another dangerous Purdue threat. Unveiling a new star, Minnesota sprang speedy freshman Tony Hunter loose on a long gainer. In the face of a stiff Purdue rush, Hohensee pinpointed Weckbacker near the end zone to set up a 16-13 Gopher lead at halftime. motivated Gopher defense, led by number 90, Fred Orgus, and 34, Glenn Seslevich, held Purdue to only 1 first down in the third quarter. Things got no better in the final period for Boilermaker quarterback Scott Campbell. The Big D was ebullient with its accomplishments in this stunning upset victory. For Coach Joe Salem, it was a day to remember in the famed old brick house. Control Data Corporation is pleased to present this documentary of University of Minnesota students in their pursuit of athletic excellence. Excellence in education is a commitment Control Data shares with the University of Minnesota. For 2 decades, Control Data has been working to provide higher quality, more accessible education at lower cost through the application of advanced computer technology. Today, Plato computer-based education delivers quality instruction at all levels, from basic math and reading to the specialized needs of the business and academic communities.
Boom, get a rat trap, big cat trap. Boom, get a rat trap, bigger than a cat trap. Sis, boom, bah. Minnesota, Minnesota, rah, rah, rah. Yay!
Homecoming holds a special significance at Minnesota. House decorations are expressive, and so are the fans. This year, it was time for opinions about the forgotten men of the offensive line.
The offensive linemen are the most underrated part of the team. If they don't go, the team doesn't go. I think offensive linemen are very crucial to the game. I think they should get more credit.
Offensive linemen are running back's best friend.
Video. A double. Good job, you guys.
If those big lugs in the offensive line can do their job, somebody's going to carry that ball across the goal line.
Turn it on, baby. I'll run them. Turn it up. Turn it up.
Has to be a workhorse, a bulldog, gets his head beat in all the time by the defenseman. Everybody else on the team can make the papers and get some glory out of things, but the offensive lineman, he never gets much of anything.
During the 1981 season, Minnesota set a new offensive record, averaging nearly 400 yards per game. Led by Captain Ken Dalapure, number 78. The unsung heroes included senior Wally Kirsten, juniors Randy Rasmussen, Ed Olson, and Bill Humphreys. Their contributions, although bereft of headlines, wrote another glorious chapter in the Golden 100. To paraphrase a familiar song, the Gophers were on the road again for an important clash at Iowa, where the Hawkeyes were rated number 6 in the nation. At Iowa City, fan enthusiasm reached a 20-year peak. The plan was to eradicate the memory of an embarrassing 24-6 defeat by Minnesota the previous year. Given a chance to showcase his ability, number 74, Carl Mecklenburg, scrambled Iowa's big quarterback. But the Hawkeyes, 12-point favorites, showed little concern. Coming into this game, Iowa knew it had to stop Hohensy's long bombs. He countered with a screen to running back Marvell Ross at the end of the first quarter. The Gophers were in field goal range. With a favorable wind at his back, Jim Gallery put Minnesota on the board with a 45-yarder. The tenacious Minnesota defense was beginning to make believers out of the 60,000 Iowa partisans. Displaying the skills that found him breaking Minnesota's career record for most yards gained passing, Hohensee went deep to Nick Davidson to set up another field goal. On the short end of a 6-0 score, Iowa attacked the Gopher flanks, but team defense rose to the occasion. Excellent pass protection provided Hohensee time to riddle the Iowa secondary. Chester Cooper took it in, and while the Hawkeyes couldn't stop the Gophers, the Zebras did when a penalty wiped out an apparent touchdown, and the Gophers settled for a third field goal. During the first half, Minnesota shut down the Iowa attack, limiting the vaunted Hawks to 1 first down. At halftime, a pall appeared to envelop Kinnick Stadium. Taking the field to start the second half, the Gophers were counting on Big Mo still being with them. But the tide of battle turned. The Hawks surged back with 10 quick unanswered points to take the lead. When Minnesota and Iowa meet, you can count on leather popping. The Gophers were in a feisty mood. Three-quarters of this dogfight were history, and the Hawks were preying upon the Gophers. Determined this would be its day, Iowa was blanketing Hohensy's receivers. The pass rush had become rejuvenated. When the Hawkeyes stripped the ball, it was time for Minnesota to get its act together. Defensive coach Bruce Vandersall lit the fire. The message was emphatic. In 6 attempts from inside the Gopher 10-yard line, Iowa got the big horse collar. Inspired by its defense, Minnesota knew the game had reached the turning point. Hohensee found Weckbacker. 60 minutes of drama would be decided by the toe of Jim Gallery in a clutch performance. Gallery put all of Minnesota's 12 points on the scoreboard. Hawkeyes would have to wait another year to seek their revenge. Smokey Joe Salem was high on the hog. His team had defeated the Big Ten's Rose Bowl entry and co-champion.
Don't fight with those guys and fight with them, because that's when you start to lose ground. I want you to butt press and explode. Get rid of them. You can do the job, but you can do it. We control a football game, just like we did last week. We'll control the football game. Okay, any questions?
Bring it in, man. We're going to be on the pads all day. All day.
Did you ever wonder what it's really like to be in the trenches on Saturday afternoon against a team like the Michigan Wolverines? Fred Orgus, Minnesota's talented defensive end, is a study in intensity, determination, and sometimes anger.
You might be able to throw. Let's go.
Coach, I'm coming on that pinch man, and they're coming with the fullback at me. I got to attack him with my outside shoulder, right? Make it bounce further? All right, yeah, I didn't do that. Dang it. Nice play on that pass, man. Beautiful.
I can feel things sometimes. I can pass it outside.
Big mothers, aren't they, bud?
Yeah.
Funny, you hear that? What? When they get a big split, Moransky takes a bigger split on Becker, it's a double team. They're trying to they're cutting it right off the double team. All right? Just check it out. What?
B gap?
Yeah, it goes in the B gap, right, Kev?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell B set. Tell B set.
Give me the water.
Easy. Hey, why are you holding me? Get out of here. Hey, he's holding me.
Yeah, you see anything different out there? No, nothing. They ran that option you were talking about.
Tell the ends to take up the field until we get hurt by that trap again. They haven't been running traps since the first quarter.
All right.
Okay, so just take that, tell them to take the pinch charge to the tackle's hip. We should call some blitz off man, okay?
Yeah.
You got to make sure to remind the split, the ends to the split inside. They got to play loose and take option, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, bud. is, Bud. We're going to be running a lot more blitz off man. So make sure if you're on the Omaha side, you're going out for pitch, all right?
Despite a superb performance by Orgus, Minnesota was unable to match the Wolverines. In the Big Ten, where competition is so keen, defeat is hard to swallow. But the learning experience will help prepare Orgus and his teammates for the future. There are few comparisons in the sports world to the color and enthusiasm of major college football. Add to this a rivalry like Minnesota and Ohio State, and a superstar quarterback named Art Schlichter, and it spells excitement. The Golden Gophers would love to present Joe Salem his first win over Ohio State. Trailing by 2 touchdowns in the early going, the Gophers reversed the momentum. Promising freshman running back Manny Henry, number 37, shows why he is on Minnesota's kickoff return team. When you're hot, you are hot. Hohensee to Cooper had been that way all year, as the Buckeye secondary discovered, much to its chagrin. Football strategy is often based on the element of surprise. Normally, an offensive guard, Todd Hallstrom, became an eligible receiver on this scoring pass early in the second quarter. At halftime, Ohio State was in command with a comfortable 21-7 lead. A near-capacity crowd at Memorial Stadium had expected this game to be a duel of passing quarterbacks, and Mike Hohensee was not about to surrender. The Mount San Antonio Junior College transfer found his mark for the 26th time of the afternoon, with Big J. Carroll on the receiving end for a TD. Playing like a team possessed, the Gophers had a tie ball game on their hands. The result of Hohensee's toss to high-stepping Frank Jacobs. The crowd was into the game, but the Ohio State flag and team had become all but lifeless. Schlichter passes that had been caught in the first half were now being dropped, much to the displeasure of Coach Earl Bruce. Ohio State regained a 10-point lead, but this afternoon was far from over. Freshman Jack Schlichting nearly broke this punt return all the way. The time had come to pull out all of the stops. Smokey Joe and Mike Hohensee plotted strategy. The Ohio State secondary could not cope with Jay Carroll. Hohensee found him alone for his second touchdown reception of the day. Art Schlichter's 4-year mystique had run its course. Minnesota's defense found him to be mortal, which gave cause for celebration. In an afternoon filled with heroics, Mike Hohensee completed 44 of 67 attempts. Dame Fortune lent an assist with the big one. 3 touchdown receptions against Ohio State, more than justified Jay Carroll putting his blessing on the whole affair. How sweet it was. Joe Salem, his staff, and a courageous band of Gophers became the only team in the Big Ten to defeat both of the conference co-champions. This day would long be remembered as one of the most treasured times in Minnesota's Golden 100.